brothers and sisters in Christ. Today I bring you another message. One which truly reveals the nature of man and how many a times we fall short of the will of God. Today's message is on envy and jealousy. Envy is to desire something that belongs to someone else. Many times we don't care for how that person got that which we envy, but all that we care for is that we want it and that it will make us a lot happier, and it probably would. I believe the envious man denies himself happiness in the pursuit of the happiness of others. These are words I believe God put in my mind, and I find them true, that we envy, fix our eyes on someone else's property by ignoring that which we have and denying ourselves happiness. Now today I'll bring you a couple Bible verses on this very subject, and I will go through them and see if we can learn a couple things from it. James 3:16. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and envy and every vile practice. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. We know that jealousy just makes us do things, makes us lose control. The jealous person is so overwhelmed in their jealousy that they can literally do anything. They can think of any vile practice, think of any lie, or connive in any way to get that which they want. And this is not just jealousy of property, but even of people. When someone breaks your heart, you are so overwhelmed that you can kill whoever is involved. James 4:2-3. You desire and do not have, so you murder. You covet and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. You do not have because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive because you ask wrongly, to spend it on your passions. How true is this? God is saying that not that He will not give to you, but you are angry in your envy, in your jealousy. You want that which is someone else. That you have enough balls to go murder someone else. You have enough push, you're so willing to commit this evil because you want that of someone else. And yet you have not asked God to give to you. And those who have asked, ask wrongly. They ask that, oh Lord, give me this so I will be rich and live a life of splendor. I love how, I believe it was Paul that said it. He said, God, give me enough that I do not forget you, but don't give me too much. He said, just give me enough. Don't give me too much that I will forget you and grow tired of the Lord, or give me too little that I will break your law and have to go thief or go into become a thief to support himself. He asks for enough that he may not be overtaken by his own splendor or his own passions, but just give me enough, God. Is that not a beautiful prayer? Is that not a prayer you would love to answer if you were God? Now, God has enough ability, more than enough ability to give you the entire world. I mean, He made a shepherd into a king. He did it for David. He did it for Joseph. So why can't He do it for you? But again, the way He said it is, I do not answer these prayers because you ask to spend on your passions. And of course, if you spend on your passions, you right back into sin. Now let's go to the next Bible verse, Proverbs 14:30. A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bone rot. Envy makes the bone rot. It's funny how the Bible even makes it clear that the envy kills you. Now, even if this is a metaphor to something else, it is true how much, when we are in sin or in envy or in jealousy, how much grieved our spirit is. Let's go to the next one, Proverbs 27:4. Wrath is cruel, anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Again, the point I just made. It's funny because I feel like jealousy or envy brings forth these things. When you're jealous, you get... I'll give you an example. Again, I'll go back to someone who got their heart broken or someone who got cheated on. And you see these qualities flare up pretty quickly, or how much anger this person feels, and the amount of wrath that comes in, and they just want to hit something, to put it simply, or put it in layman's terms. I just want to hit something. I want to hit somebody because I've been hurt, and how can you do this to me? It's that jealousy. It takes over, and really, who can stand before jealousy? You have to know that God is a jealous God as well. And God does not want you to serve other gods. He makes it clear, even in this passage, of who can stand before jealousy. I know I do not want to provoke the jealousy of God, because the Israelites did it a couple times, and you know how that turned out for them. It was not very good. And yet God was forgiving and willing to bring them back. The book of Judges, the same thing. They did it over and over again. And yet God kept providing new judges to bring them back to God. In a couple years' time, they revert back to worshiping the gods of the Ammonites and the Syrians and Babylon. And yet God brings forth another judge, and they do it again. So his mercies might be infinite, but do not grieve the spirit and push it to jealousy. James 3:14-15. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. If you have bitter jealousy, don't tell yourself that you're doing the right thing. Do not deceive yourself, basically. This is what it's saying. It said, but if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. Do not tell yourself that this is true. I deserve this. I deserve to have all this. And God, I deserve this. Grant it to me. Don't boast in your selfish ambitions. Even success is a blessing from God. So we should know how to ask, at least. At least this is what I got from this. We should at least know how to ask. Don't say, God, I deserve this. You have to give it to me. I deserve that person should love me. She cheated on me. I deserve. If I not, we're quick to make this thing where if we get cheated on, the first thing we say is, have I not given you everything? Even if we haven't. It's kind of like the first instinct most of us go to. And it's not always right, nor is it always the best thing to do. But, in our human nature, it seems to be the go-to thing to go to. Go to Proverbs 23:17. Let not your heart envy sinners, but continue in the fear of the Lord all day. That's pretty self-explanatory. God is just saying, do not envy the sinners. I mean, this is exactly how many Christians become backsliding, because they envy the sinners. I wish I can go party. Many times we feel like we're missing something. I wish I can go party. I wish I can drink as much as I want. I would love to lay with that girl. I would love to, she's hot. And this is a sin that I am guilty of as well. I cannot just push it to you guys, but I myself am very guilty of this. Because sometimes you look outside and, you want to do this, but the Holy Spirit convicts you and tells you this is not right. And I'm glad that He does that. But this is a attitude that many of us have, that we have to grow in God to get out of this. For the temptations of the world are everywhere, and many a times it seems almost impossible to get away from it, or to get out of view from it. Let's go to the next Bible verse. Proverbs 24:14 says, "Be not envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them." This is basically what the last one I read is saying. But this time it's not just sinners, it's evil men. For we know even today in our world, it seems like those who we call evil, the bad guys, have all the good stuff. I'm not the only one who's noticed that. It seems like those who are bad guys, they have all the good stuff. They have the girls, they have the cars, they have the big houses, and they have the influence. The music producers or those who make the movies, or those in a higher office. But the Bible tells you, do not envy those people, nor desire to be with them. Bad company corrupts good minds. So that's clearly what it's saying here. You end up being with those who are bad because you want their power, or you want to be as them, and you end up being a little too much of them. You don't know the type of lifestyles they live, so you going in with them will end up just corrupting that which is good in you and pushing you far away from God. Let's go to Philippians 2, verse 3-4. It says, "Do nothing from rivalry or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourself. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others." This is basically the golden rule. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. And God is basically telling you to be humble and not just think of yourself, but think of others. So please, next time you envy somebody, you do not know the whole story of how that it was gotten, but also don't envy them, but rather be glad that they are blessed. And I believe me when I tell you, your blessing will come. Keep His commandments, and everything will be, everything will be added to it. Just keep His commandments. And the last verse, and I had to put this in here because it just summarizes God's message. And it says it's Matthew 6:33 that says, "But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." We forget that blessings come from God. And God is saying, just seek me first. And everything else will be given to you. All I ask is that you seek me first. Know me first. And that which you want, and that which you need will be provided. Now, in conclusion, I just want to say that, when we want that which is ours, or which belongs to others, and yet we have not asked, we tend to do this a lot. We want that which is not ours, but we have not asked. And desire that someone else's possession will bring us joy. But ill-gotten gain only breeds grief. We tend to want that. By any means necessary, take that which is not ours, but it only ends up bringing us grief. We only end up suffering in one form or another. We end up losing a friend, or we end up burning a bridge just because we want that which is not ours. We make a decision on jealousy or on envy and break up a family. It only leads to more suffering. I can there are a lot of examples of how this plagues us day in, day out. But from those of you who've experienced these things in one form or another, you will know that sin is only enjoyed for a little while. And when judgment comes, where would you stand? For those of you who do not know Christ, I want to speak on the ABCs of salvation. If you want that change, if you're willing to accept that change in your life, and you want to know God better, A is to admit that you're a sinner. B is to believe that Christ died for your sins, and C is to call on His name and confess your sins. And as long as you do these things believing, God will find you, and you will be reunited with the Father. Please hold no grief to anyone else. Forgive those who has hurt you, as God has forgiven you. Thank you for listening to this short message on envy and jealousy. May God bless you, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.